I am delighted to be on the floor today with, among others, Senator Alexander, who has worked so hard on the bill that we're talking about today. Through the chair, I want to wish him well in his new role as chair of the Health, Education, and Labor Committee, on which I serve. And he's quite right to have said that this bill came to us as a result of testimony in front of that committee by a variety of witnesses, but all of whom agreed that the current system is completely unwieldy. I'd also like the other co-sponsors, Senator Burr, Booker, Isaacson, and King, for joining the efforts and for being here today as well. You know, I first became aware of this problem when I was superintendent of the Denver Public Schools, and we had a couple that very generously donated $50 million, $50 million, for scholarships for kids that were graduating from the Denver Public Schools and who had applied to college. And one of the things we learned in that process was how terrible the process was for filling out the financial aid forms for the federal government. And that was a requirement that we had for people to be able to be eligible for the scholarships. We literally had to put new rooms in our schools, in our high schools, and staff them with people in order to fill out these forms. And every year, tens of thousands of students and parents in Colorado and millions more across the country fill out the FAFSA as part of the college application process. It is the gateway to financial aid. By some estimates, over 2 million people that are eligible for FAFSA, for financial aid, Pell Grants, don't get it simply because of the complexity of the form. And with unanimous consent, I'd ask to show some demonstrative evidence, Mr. President. Here is this year's form. It's a different color than the one we had last year. But this is the form that a student has to fill out with its 108 questions. This is the instruction manual that goes with the form that is something in the neighborhood of 66 pages long. It's very tiny print. And to be honest with you, the ridiculousness of this form would be funny if it wasn't for the lost time, money, and energy our country spends on it. Here are some of the examples of the questions families have to put up with on this form. Several times there are questions about income. We've been told by the witnesses that we had that we only need 2 questions. There are a number of questions just about income, investments, and assets. Each requires notes and instructions which are contained in here. Question 36, what was your and spouse's adjusted gross income for 2014? Question 37, enter your and spouse's income tax for 2014. Question 39, how much did you earn from working in 2014? Question 40, how much did your spouse earn from working in 2014? It's ridiculous. The questions become even more complicated. Question 42, as of today, what is the net worth of your and your spouse's investments, including real estate, but don't include the home you live in? That's the kind of reaction we get all over the country when we talk about this. And at home, the instruction form here says for question number 43, the net worth of business and our investment form. Business or farm value includes the current market value of land, buildings, machinery, equipment, inventory, etc. Do not include your primary form. Do not include the net worth of a family-owned and controlled small business with more than 100 full-time or full-time equivalent employees. And just to make it really clear, in dark print, bolded print, it says business/farm value minus business/farm debt equals net worth of business farm. This is as complicated as any tax form, Mr. President, and at a time when the demands of the global economy require us to have more college access, not less. It's a shame that this bureaucratic piling up of questions is making it harder and harder for people to go to college. So I think this is going to be great for our students. We'll get it down to a postcard that's just got 2 questions on it. And the estimate is that the time saved by moving away from this existing form is the equivalent of 50,000 jobs. 50,000 jobs that can be spent actually providing college guidance to young people who will now have the benefit of knowing, as Senator Alexander said so eloquently, will now have the benefit of knowing what financial aid they'll be eligible for in their junior year before they even apply to college, rather than wait until their senior year until they've already been admitted to college. That makes no sense to the people that we represent, and there's a reason for it, Mr. President. It's because it makes no sense. So my hope is that this is a bill that we'll be able to move this year. And again, I want to thank Senator Alexander for his tremendous leadership.